knew he was up to something. Sister Lucia Karasu stopped a moment to pump her fist and smile gloatingly to herself, then continued on, making sure to stay out of sight of her quarry as she watched him disappear into the tree line. She'd been following Brother Vlados for 4 days. Something just hadn't sat right with her when she heard him explain why he needed to leave the colony and run errands in one of the local border towns. So, she gathered up her ranging gear and offered to go hunting. Just because she didn't tell Elder Arena what she was hunting didn't make her a liar, right? At first, she'd been worried her instincts were off, and Vlados really was just picking up some supplies. He traveled straight to one of the towns. Not the closest, of course, that would draw too much attention to the colony, but not far enough to raise any suspicions from her. After a full day of travel, he spent most of the next there, gathering up something, and quite a bit of it going by how full his pack seemed to be getting, then left shortly before nightfall. He made camp, he packed up in the morning, making sure to clean up after himself. So far, so normal. But then, he turned south, even though the colony was to the west. After another full day of travel, he was nearly to the edge of the Exalted Wood. The wood was sacred to the colony. Supposedly they had originally lived there, but were driven out centuries before when the elves returned to Keonan. According to the stories, there were even mother trees, children of the Forest Mother who had taken root and gone to sleep to await her arrival in the Exalted Wood. But going there now was forbidden. It had been for generations. And here was Vlados, lying about running errands so that he could sneak in. "I have you now. Elder Arena will have a field day with this." Once he was sure Vlados really was entering the wood, Lucia packed up her own camp and gave chase. But either she'd underestimated how overgrown and unfamiliar the forest was, or, more likely, overestimated her own skill. After searching for nearly an hour, she hadn't picked up Vlados' trail. Just as she was getting ready to give up and head back, she had enough to get him on probation for a year at least already. She heard it. A strange, snuffling sound coming from a particularly thick patch of undergrowth. Readying her bow, she stalked towards it. The sound resolved itself into what was clearly heavy, ragged breathing and what might have been crying. "Who's there? Show yourself! I'm armed!" The only answer was a surprised gasp, and then the breathing getting quicker. Lucia drew back an arrow and trained it on the undergrowth. The plants began shaking as a small form pushed its way out. She saw pointed ears and almost let loose, but something stopped her. Looking closer, she saw it wasn't some elf ranger ready to fight to the death, but a small, emaciated half-elf girl, covered in dirt and grime, tears streaking down her face. The girl held up her arms and choked out something in Elvish. She tried to take one more wobbling step forward, but collapsed onto the ground. This is Pot Against the Machine.
Pot Against the Machine.
Welcome back to Pot Against the Machine, the only actual play podcast that digs great holes secretly, where the earth's pores ought to suffice, and things have learned to walk that ought to crawl. I'm your host, and here's everybody.
I love the way you crafted that intro.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello to everyone except for the worm that walks.
Wow.
Poor worm that walks.
You're throwing diplomacy out the window, man.
See how it is. Well, previously, what happened? The party healed up for a very, very long time while the Leucodaemon bumped into walls. And then, when they decided they'd healed enough, they executed it quite thoroughly, and it didn't really got a chance to do anything but stand there and get housed. After that, the party continued their journey through the basement and found an altar to Xiphus. This altar to Xiphus, in, true Xiphian fashion, had a scythe trap built into the altar itself, which attacked everybody, did a little bit of damage. And then the sentient death trap ooze that was spread out on the floor in the back sprung to life and attacked the party. Of course, the party made short work of the death trap ooze because they're mean to nice, cool monsters. And they found another nanite cocoon, and they didn't take the nanite cocoon. They left it there because nanite cocoons are scary. After that, they doubled back, went to the main hallway, and explored the southern door on the eastern side. Found a little U-shaped hallway that led into a lab with 3 cells in it. The northernmost cell had a broken-out window and nothing inside. The middle cell had a non-broken window and looked like a bunch of dead bugs inside. And the far southern window had, had a worm that walks in it. And that's where we are now. The worm that walks is looking at the party and pointing at the door.
Good idea. We should leave.
Asher will tip his hat respectfully and then walk away.
Kira looks at it and then looks at her friends. Okay, bye.
Really? You come all this way and you just walk away? I see how it is. I can help you. I know secrets. I've been here a long time.
It's gonna be longer.
Yeah, no, the last time I stayed in a room with something, I got almost murdered by a haunt. It was nice meeting you. And
Nobody hates Fergus as much as I do. Since he locked me down here, I know you hate him.
Kira has to stop walking.
Come on. You know you hate Fergus, Shard. You've been trying to kill you.
We do.
He tries to kill me all the time.
We do hate him.
He's the worst.
He's the worst.
The literal worst.
what we can do to make sure this isn't Furcus? like, is this like a ghost and zombie from the
I
same
don't
body
think it's
situation?
Furcus, but I don't trust it as an ally. I mean, listen, I had a really bad track record with everything that's in every room here. I am not inclined to leave anything down here, down deep down here. But and if anyone's going to talk to it, it should be, I guess, all of you. Anyone but me. Ken, I don't know much about it, but it sounds dangerous. Looks dangerous.
Oh, I'm extremely dangerous. I won't lie about that. But I have no particular reason to hate all of you, especially if you help me out a little bit.
Does it detect as evil?
Oh, yes, super evil.
I just didn't want to assume.
That's super evil.
Yeah, well, Alan got an 8 on his sense motive about whether or not it hates Zoud, so he has no idea on that.
What should we call you if we decide to call you anything? Do you have a name?
Of course I have a name. What kind of question is that?
I am incredibly not knowledgeable in things of the natural and unnaturally natural world. Things that require knowledge of nature. I have no ranks.
Also, that answer kind of makes it sound like you're stalling because you don't have a name.
I haven't used my name in years and years and years, but my name is Nargan. Nargan Haruvex.
Sorry, what was the last name?
Haruvex. Haruvex.
Haruvex?
If you want it without the swarm
Is that
sound.
the usual spelling?
Yes, Nagan Ormvorax.
I was literally typing that in the chat.
No, was that his pet?
Nargrim Steelvex.
Can we roll? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's a popular name, apparently, Nargrim.
Well,
Can we roll anything on that name?
I mean, you can try a knowledge local.
I have
I
that.
have a very tiny bonus to that. Nope.
19
22.
total.
No. That's a 15.
Yeah, I don't think
Alright.
Nargan Harovex is famous enough for any of you to have heard of him.
As
Nargan.
to Narg.
Fun name to say. Nargan.
It is fun to say.
Yes.
It's Nargly.
Nargan's noggin. So, Nargan, how did you end up here in the first place?
Well, I was taken prisoner. Up at the World Wound, shortly after I was reborn in the state you see before you, and I was in a weakened and confused state. The old wizard, one thing led to another, a little bit of trickery, a little bit of evil, sneaky magic, and I wound up down here.
Can you say more about that?
Well, what more is there to know? Fracus is or was a madman. I think he basically wanted to become like what I am. He wanted to get immortality by putting his mind in a swarm or in smoke or whatever. And, I mean, I guess really he kind of did it because he's an incorporeal kind of almost smoke sort of guy now, and you don't have to worry about dying. But yeah, he's almost even worse now that he's dead. Really.
Do you know how to make him stop being not dead?
I think if I knew that, I probably would have done it by now.
Thought maybe you couldn't because you're locked in there or whatever.
Well, he comes in here sometimes, and, sometimes I attack him if I'm feeling a little bit ornery at the time. Sometimes he taunts me, I taunt him. We have a sort of mutual hatred going around. But,
When you attack him, what does that look like?
like I, do magic spells on him, and he goes like, "Oh God, you're so strong, Nargan, you're so tough," and then he runs away,
He runs away when we fight him too.
He's always running away. He's the worst.
Yeah, I don't like him.
You should. What were they doing around the World Wound in the first place? There's a series of evil worms. Seems like that should be determined.
I mean, when I went to the World Wound, I wasn't in a series of evil worms. I was more of a evil guy.
So,
Just saying. I wasn't a good guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a great person.
Good 19 sense motive on when Nargan's recounting the, I cast a bunch of magic spells on him, and he's like, "Oh, you're so strong," and runs away.
He seems to basically believe what he's saying. Maybe slight exaggeration, but...
Nargan, it sounds like you're certainly a fearsome spellcaster. What is holding you here behind these windows and this door? Is it enchanted somehow?
I don't know any teleportation spells.
You couldn't open the door or just break through it with your powers?
Unfortunately, no.
Focus sure is a jerkus.
So, Like, if you got out of here, would you just, like, go make compost peacefully, or would you continue with your evil, wormy nature?
I mean, I don't have any specific plans. I've been kind of resigned to just sort of being in here for all eternity since nobody's been down here in years other than Fergus the Jerkus. And he certainly hasn't been willing to let me go, but I mean, I have no specific plans for any evil doing.
Tactful answer. Look, I am perhaps maybe the most morally ambiguous of the party, looks at Alwyn, or perhaps part of the contingent of the most morally ambiguous, but this, this really weighs on the scales. Clearly this is wrongful imprisonment, but looks at Asher in particular. This is also a very evil creature. No, please.
Asher, would you let it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no.
Okay.
See, the thing is, I'm not inclined to release someone who's sure doesn't have specific evil things planned, but does detect as super evil, admits they are quite evil, was evil in their original mortal form, and remains evil still. Whether they were wrongfully imprisoned or had been rightfully incarcerated, I'm not inclined to release them in either case.
Sorry, Guy. Asher says no. He's our moral compass.
No, I see how it is, and that's totally fair. Like, I get where you're coming from. I totally get it, but, like, you're probably gonna need some help to deal with Fergus, and I know things. I've been around him for years and years and years. Like, I'm pretty much the closest thing he has to a friend, even though I hate his guts and imagine myself killing him every day. But, what if, and I'm just spitballing here, what if you let me out in exchange for, like, the information that would, help you with whatever you're doing here, which I'm sure involves crossing paths with Fergus Shadow. And, maybe I could sweeten the pot a little bit. And then, I'll promise not to do anything evil.
Didn't you already say you didn't know how to get rid of him?
That doesn't mean I don't know other things.
Such as?
Well, what do you want to know?
Give us the vague contours of the juiciest bits you have. Worms.
Oh, I know where his most secure lab is. I know what he's hiding in there. I know what killed him. That's a good one. I know, I know what cool machine he used to brag about that he has. I don't know what that is.
Is it the fan?
Much cooler than the fan.
Do you know about nests? Yep. Not gonna describe them more.
Nests?
Oh, well,
The
that would be
cocoons?
indescribable. Another thing
Nanite
about those.
cocoons.
And he cocks his head and he thinks for a second. And he goes,
I don't think I know anything about nanite cocoons specifically, but I know he has like one of his main security things is this androphany door, basically. It's got this locking mechanism that uses nanites to like keep itself locked, and it's basically impossible to open if you don't have control of his nanite swarms.
Thank you for that freebie.
hangs his head for a second, realizing he's kind of been tricked into coughing that one up. And he goes,
Well, now that I've shown my good faith and my usefulness, you know, why don't we just pop a little lock? Just give it a little poppy dib, as they say in the world wound.
The old World Wound Pop and Lock, where up rock breakdancing is incredibly popular. It's a chorus.
it's the main thing that demons do when they get to the material plane, is they pop and lock.
As a investigation into your character, before you were in this form, where would you purchase craft supplies?
There is a right answer.
Yes, and we all know what it is. But I want to know the truth.
And he's got to think really hard about this one, because it's been a while.
Remember, if they're chaotic
He
evil...
says Hobby Lobby, we're leaving him in
That's
here.
exactly what I was going to say. If it's chaotic evil, they have to say Hobby Lobby. That is the rule as it goes.
I'm trying to think of other craft stores, and I can't come up with anything, but...
There's only the three.
There aren't too many, just the three.
Oh, there's Blix. You all have Blix? Yeah, Blix.
Some cool mom and pop shop I've never heard of.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, we have the Blick.
Never heard of
Hey,
Blix.
the art student contingent of our listener
Sounds right.
base knows what I'm talking about.
Got a couple Blicks. Yeah, it's like craft
Wow.
plus. These aren't crafts. These are works of art.
Yeah, I was always into the more sort of bespoke crafting supplies. I kind of would consider myself like above, like the chain stores. Not above, that sounds too haughty, but like, you know, I don't think I would really go to like a Joann's or a Michael's unless I was absolutely desperate. Like, I'd probably, you know, find some real art supplies from like a true artist who just really appreciated the craft, if you know what I mean.
Of course I do. I could roll bluff if you need me to. This is very important for the progression of the story, for sure.
Clearly. That's why we had to stop for 10 minutes to come up with craft stores.
Think of it.
Yeah.
Another
Listeners, we
craft store.
truncated
I-
8 minutes of that.
I said we
You're welcome.
come back to them if we come back to them. It's after we're finished in here. Many secrets will remain secrets, but I think they did let us know that we should probably grab that cocoon and the other one. Hopefully that was a good idea.
And while you're basically saying that you're gonna go, he runs to the back of the cell and picks up this like 1 foot by 1 foot cube that is covered with tiny hoses that are like kind of bouncing up and down. And this is like basically the only thing in the cell with him. And he picks it up and sort of waves it towards you all and goes like,
I've got treasure. You could have this.
Now you say that's the,
It looks kind of gross.
You say that's the only thing in the cell with him, but in the picture you showed us last episode, he appeared to be holding some kind of crazy tech gun.
yeah, I don't know why that's in the picture. That is not in his gear. Spoiler, he does not have a
I was
laser
going to say, 'cause
gun.
if he gives us that, then maybe.
So, if a knowledge engineering would tell us anything about the cube of hoses, Brixby rolls a 19 for a 36.
That's a pretty good roll. The cube of hoses appears to be a nutrient training node. Now, nutrient training node is a pretty interesting little thing. It has a short spigot on one end. 4 sides of the box are covered with panels that flash and hum in a repeating pattern. This device acts as a nutrient dispenser. Once a day, when any panel is pushed as a full round action, the node extrudes a dollop of nutrient paste from the spigot. The paste contains sufficient nutrients to sustain a single medium or smaller creature for 1 day. For 24 hours after that, the tiny hoses take in trace amounts of air, dirt, or any other nearby substance, and the node processes this matter into more nutrient paste.
Yeah.
That's why you have a goo tube generation device.
No, that's a goo cube.
It's a goo cube.
It is a goo cube.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to type that in the chat.
You are
Oh,
being
that's so
offered
more tempting than
a goo
any
cube.
plot-relevant device.
I want to taste every environment I'm
Yeah, I
in.
was going to say, I'm not sure we can turn that down.
No,
Yeah, that's a hard pass. I'm like, all right. Sounds good.
that's the thing about the
Well, now
anti-
we know how the goo tubes get all those crazy flavors they have.
Well, for the most part, the default nutrient paste doesn't taste great, but the goo
Shocking.
cube is also basically a game of Simon. If you push the panels in a fashion that matches the repeating pattern that's flashing on the box, the node adds nanites that put delicious flavors in the paste.
So is that what all those nanite clusters are for? We have to use those to make goo tubes taste good?
Well,
We need to go back and collect those other 2 clusters.
the thing is, the more you do it, the harder the pattern gets. And if you keep matching the pattern, which of course takes intelligence checks, it keeps producing better and better paste. If you do this for 6 consecutive days, the benefits accumulate into intellect-enhancing nanites that grant you a permanent +1 inherent bonus to intelligence.
Now, is there a penalty for messing it up?
The stuff goes back to tasting that.
Then we can start
Yeah.
over with
Yeah,
the
but I mean, like, you can start over again and just keep attempting this for the remainder of the thing until we make Brixby Einstein.
As long as you've got charges. But, I mean, inherent bonuses don't stack, so you can only get
Yeah.
one inherent
Yeah,
bonus.
I know. Can't keep doing
No,
it.
And he's waving around his goo cube.
Is it?
I really want that thing, but I also really don't want to let this guy out.
You know you want it. It plays the tiny little CDs that look like Yoshi. 4 controller ports.
Can I use Summon Swarm to summon a swarm of, like, robins in there? And just get that whole thing sorted out?
I can get that. Just clean that up.
I want the cube. We could all get a +1 to our intelligence. That is amazing. Everybody. I mean, Brixby, sure, but, like, that's...
Now, question about that. Is the person that solves it has to be the person that eats it?
Nice.
Or can Brick solve it for the rest of us with his high intelligence and then somebody else can eat it after he solves it?
I see no reason. I don't think solving it involves holding your mouth over the spigot, so
Okay. Oh, that because that's the thing that I was worried about with like the rest of us trying if like we didn't have as high of a bonus.
Oh, it's a trap. best outcome is we have a goo tube cube.
Yeah.
Which is the worst outcome.
Yeah, but it gives us a +1 bonus to intelligence that's a really rare type of bonus that won't stack with a lot of other things.
Just think of the merch.
I mean, will stack.
Exactly.
Bluetooth dispenser. We can buy those Heinz vending machines.
Yeah, combine it with a Simon, because like day 1 you get spicy mango ranch, and then by day 5 it's some sort of manna from the gods.
Okay, spicy mango ranch doesn't sound terrible.
I know. As I said that, I'm like, maybe that's the manna. Mana.
Yes, that's not horrible. That sounds like a day 3 or 4 thing. Day 1, it probably tastes like him.
Warm worm.
Yes.
It definitely tastes like him right now, since he is the ambient everything.
So,
He's waving it around.
hold on.
Doing a little dance. He's got one big worm on the front of his head that's sort of in a smile shape.
Sam, talk to me about line of sight and line of effect with these windows.
Well, you can see through the windows. I assume that you can't actually see through the dynamic lighting of the window.
Because I think I think there's a spell that Brixby would like to cast. Because I'm a terrible rat and a worse person behind the rat. And I would envision that a conjuration teleportation spell wouldn't be blocked by that glass, right?
Yeah, it's not like a force thing or anything.
Brixby's gonna grab their their goodness, their bonded item, their amulet, and I need Wormy Jeremy to roll me a CMB. Oh no, I need to roll a CMB. I'm gonna claim that object that's in your hand using the spell swipe.
Okay. Alright, can you actually see him now?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, can see him.
I redrew the wall while you were
This
talking.
square. So this square being right near the door of the cell to the north. And I am going to roll a CMB check using which is my caster level plus my intelligence mod. My caster level and my intelligence mod, sorry. So that is 14 plus my d20 roll against your CMD. So 5 off the die for a 19.
He's still got it.
Oh.
So Brixby fails to pull the thing out of Nargan's hand.
Oh, he still got it. I thought you said you.
Nargan still got it. He goes,
Oh, I was excited for a second. I'm like, wow, he's got a really low CMD.
Hey! You can't just go stealing things from people. I gave you the terms. Open the thing. Don't make me start casting spells that scare Fracas away. I don't want to do it, but I'll do it.
Why would we be worried that you cast spells that scare him away? We don't want him to come here.
I'll scare you away with them. Or I'll, scare you to death.
Yeah, I could do that again after I sleep, but I think I'm gonna mosey out of here, just in case they do have something that can go through the glass. But
Yeah, Asher would like to grab that jar with the 3 worms and take it with him. And see if that gets any reaction out of Nargan.
I think as you're all leaving, he doesn't seem to particularly react to Asher taking the jar. But as you are all leaving, he does wind up and cast a spell. It says,
You're just cowards. All of you, you're just cowards.
And he's gonna cast a spell on, let's see, who's the last one in line? Oh, of course it's Alwyn.
Yeah, because I didn't realize that we were actually moving out of the room as everyone was still talking to him.
Well, as everyone walks away, Alwyn, I need a will save.
Let's save. That is a 14, so that's gonna fail.
So, Alwyn, I would say as you're walking away, you see right in front of you that stove from upstairs. And the door drops open to the stove, and fire comes bursting out of it. And I'm gonna need a fortitude save.
Oh, I know what this is. Hey, fortitude's much higher. That is a... Ooh, that still might not make it at his caster level. That's a 19.
Just barely makes it.
Oh.
So,
God, that was a high roll, too. That was a 15 on the die.
You just barely survive. You do take...
Phantasmal killer, right?
You do take 13 points of mental damage from the horrible fear of, the fireball that killed you just a couple days ago. Yeah. So are you still leaving?
Yeah, let's go.
Brixby,
Let's
he's
go.
doing the thing you were worried about. Let's get out of line of sight, please.
I'm gonna steal your goo cube. I'm gonna take it later.
You're a bunch of chumps. I'm eating all the paste.
All of my level 3 slots.
I'm getting way smarter. By the time you come back here, I'm gonna be so smart that you'll die.
It's gonna be like a magic claw game, you nasty pile of worms.
Nerds. You're the nasty pile of worms inside you because you're a rat, and rats are filled with worms. At least I own it. At least I own
Let's be
it.
passively worms.
Asher closes the door.
Live your truth. Cowards.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we did not have to cardio amp you, because that would have been... Oh, we could have maybe boofed the boof of life. No, it takes a whole round to take that out. Thing is so useless.
Yeah, cardio amp would have been the
It's in that
faster
hallway
one. Yeah.
curves, the one that we derivated from originally to go through the U situ.
Yeah, is there anything at the end of that?
What?
This hallway here.
Yeah,
I
at
don't
the
see
end,
a door, but...
if you come back into the main hallway there, where it curves back around towards the west after a little bit
And
south.
Evelyn's also going to use some healing on himself while we're looking at this door.
Yeah, there's one more door at the end of the hallway there, and then the hall doesn't proceed further.
Alright, I'm gonna roll a Perceptido.
Oh. Yeah, aid.
Do not aid.
I missed aiding by 1.
I rolled an 18 for a 37 with 1 aid.
Alright, well, the door does not appear to be locked, nor does it appear to be trapped. It is pretty hot, though.
Can I roll something? Roll Smart Rat? Engineering? Intelligence? Anything? On why it's hot? Or, like, does that perception give me some sort of, like... Sounds like there's a gosh darn furnace behind this door.
And it could be a furnace. It's definitely like hissing and whirring and all sorts of noise going on in there. So there's some kind of machine, but I don't think that you can really tell much of anything from where you are.
Does the heat of the door tell me that it would be uncomfortable for us to be in there? Like, firefighter style. Can I tell? Can you touch the knob?
Yeah, I think it doesn't seem hot enough to be unsafe. Like, I think you can go in there without taking immediate heat damage or anything like that.
Yeah, let's pop it open. Let's have fun. This is what we do on this podcast.
As we were walking, Asher would have put the jar of worms into the bag of holding, healed himself once with a nanite gun, and then went back to a revolver and enchant. Just get that on radio.
I thought you were just going to carry around this like huge mason jar full of giant worms.
Or until dinner.
For like the rest of the AP.
I was hoping it would be like a Men in Black situation of where like, hey man, I'm gonna like stomp on these worms. Or you'd be like, no, that's my armpit.
Oh, these worms are like more pink, and Nargan's more like yellowy worms. So it's probably like a whole different species.
Let's go into the hot room. Is this Nellie's room?
We're opening the door. It's getting hot in here.
Oh, look at all that
This is
country
Nellie's
grammar.
room. You see that just
So
Dirty
hot.
South posters everywhere.
There's a
And
street sweeper
Filled with
over there.
Band-Aids.
Yeah, I know all the
Band-Aids
lyrics
under
to
your
all of
eyes
the
are
songs on that
mandatory.
one album.
If someone's not wearing a necklace, they could always pop on the hearth mantle.
This cramped room is incredibly hot and choked with hissing pipes and sparking wires. The strange machine of metal, stone, and crystal grinds and whirs in a cacophonous din. Plumes of smoke and fire churn out of dozens of pipes that extend upward through the ceiling. A huge metal door sits on the southern end of the western wall over here, just to the side of an immense machine. A short message is inscribed above the door. Numerous cables and pipes extend from the door's frame to a nearby panel on the southern wall, from which 4 glass domes the size of human heads protrude. That's on this fellow over here.
What's that message, Sam?
It says, Lab 0. Mnemotechnic Recovery.
There was not a Lab 0 listed on that thing, was there?
There was.
To 1 to 10.
Was there a 0?
And if
I thought it
So
went from 1 to
there's
something.
there's like a general knowledge engineering check that could be rolled in this room, right? Perhaps?
Yeah, I think that there's more than one, I would say.
Okay, so this matters because I prepared technomancy today, so I would love to use it on something that might be very useful. What sort of knowledge engineering checks do we see in this room?
Well, there is whatever the huge noise-making machine is that takes up most of the room and goes up into the ceiling. And then there is whatever this machine is that's plugged into the huge metal door.
Do we get like a general impression that the former machine might have something to do with the smoke? Is there any smoke going on in here? One of the machines more smoky than the other machine?
Oh, there's all sorts of smoke. The big machine seems to be the big smoky machine.
Oh yeah, so Brixby is going to pull out a small... He's going to cup his hand. He's going to pour some oil into it and stir it with a wire. And then he's going to kind of blow it out onto the machine. And look at how the oil splatters. And roll a knowledge engineering. I rolled a nat 20 for a 47.
Asher activates his filter mask.
nice.
Wow. You are looking at a wonder of the world, really. This is a smoke furnace. This is a fusion of magical and technological craftsmanship that uses extremely small portals to the plane of fire to provide a long-lasting and stable source of power. While the smoke furnace doesn't create a huge amount of power, and it's noisier than most generators, it's particularly desirable because there's no chance of it exploding or overloading on its own. This is the only one of these in the entire world, and it is powering the vast majority of the tower.
And when you say like powering the tower, is that like the airlocks? Like what is using power?
All the airlocks, all the doors, that big fan in the other room.
Yeah, so Brixby takes a long look at this and then turns around and says,
This is amazing. A little bit like that room that we were in with the fan. This uses the portals, the plane of fire, to bring in heat, to run a furnace.
and then he stops for a second, like he's remembering something.
But it's also the source of all the smoke that, Long Dreamer asked us to address. So, well, I don't think it should be right now. We need to put this beauty to rest at one point. Perhaps with that sword. Yeah, we pronounce it with a hard W in Birmingham.
Wow, so this turned the Dreamwood to the Smokewood. This is what's powering the contamination of this whole area. But also, turning it off now would potentially open all of the prison doors, as it were.
Yeah, don't call me Joe Manchin or anything, but we should probably keep this on for like a couple of years.
I will not call you Joe Manchin, as you requested. Brixby, you're incredibly smart. Do you know what mnemotechnic means?
Can I roll? We as a group of smart folks, of which I am not even the smartest, have a good idea of what that would relate to. Memory, knowledge, just based off of the language prefix. But is there something that Brixby could roll, or that we could roll on that word?
It would probably be like engineering.
It's a 24. Not that smart.
I think that it's probably enough to know at least that it's something in terms of dealing with memories. So mnemotechnic recovery, it might be like the memory recovery kind of.
Yeah, it might have something to do with the memory. Who knows what sort of creature that would involve. I'm kind of terrified to learn.
But you said there's also another, device here, right? That's plugged into the door.
Like Asher, do you make or Kira or anybody will take a look at this?
So upstairs on the ground floor we saw those diagrams on how to create or revive an android, and here there's something about recovering a memory. Could Joud be after what Cassandaline knows or knew and has forgotten?
Is this the body farm?
Who's to say?
Probably you. I think you're the dedicated sayer.
Yeah, it seems like a thing you would say.
Well, nobody's in
Like,
there.
I feel like it's written down in a book that you're looking at or something.
Looking at the other item in the room, do other people want to...
I attempted a knowledge engineering, got a nat 20, and still got far less than Brixby did. Is a 26 enough to give us anything, or do we need Brix's 30?
It is DC 25 to realize that this door is what Nargid was talking about. It is a nanite-powered door, and nanites are the key to open it. So it looks like the way it functions is there are 4 separate locks built into it that are basically each need to be activated separately. So you could do disabled device checks, but you have to do them on all 4. And it looks like the sort of way it works, if you're not unlocking it with like an actual key, like the nanites will be continuously working to relock it, or if you're trying to damage it, the nanites are going to be continuously repairing it, unless you...
Let's say we had like 4 nanite clusters that we were able to put onto it. Would that maybe unlock it the correct way?
If you had 4 nanite cocoons, 1 for each of those domes, I couldn't say that wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we gotta find 1 more of those dumb...
Sure,
and we gotta go back and get those other 2.
It's on page 43, Sam.
What's on page 43?
Whether or not if the nanite cocoons are what goes into that.
No, I'm sorry, it's on page 51.
Ah.
Whether or not they do...
You see Jeff's using the PDF, and he's got it set to page width mode, so the page numbers are off.
Wring another sky metal out of it. I mean, it's like, there's no loss. Like, what do you lose there, right? Like,
yeah.
I was too conservative in my page number guessing.
Yeah. So I just watched Asher like teleport through a wall. What was going on over there?
Boof! He shouts, and then he's ready to shoot utility shot that property of Kira Smith cocoon
with a stick. The utility is a sticker that says property of Asher Halick on it. It just
Yeah.
It changes the letters.
The bullet says that on it.
So if you're heading back up to the shrine to Xiphus, the ooze has obviously respawned and the trap has been reset, and it crits all of you.
Oh no.
So
The gear ghosts brought him back.
yeah, there goes 3/4 of the party. Valwyn is wisely standing in the
As
hallway.
promised.
Yeah. He's
so
not
in the
walking
words
into
of the
that
bards, Drake and Fabulous, I believe. We throw it in the bag. Yes.
Alright. Nanite cocoon acquired.
2 of 4.
Do we go upstairs and find that one? Was it in one of those? It was in one of those weird back staircases, right? The spiral ones.
Yeah, it was in one of the, like along the side of the building, spiral staircases.
So there's nothing else down
Dead
here, right?
room.
That we know of, that we've discovered, received, and are aware of, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like that was the lot of it. You haven't been back in the Damon room since the Damon left.
I was gonna say, yeah. Did we go actually into the room before, or did we talk to him through the glass? I can't remember.
You basically opened the door, saw the Damon, and closed the door.
Okay.
And you didn't really go through like the notes you found in there. You haven't checked out that jar of worms you stole, but other than that,
What
I
are
think
those?
you've done everything you've seen here.
Okay.
What's the... Is it another knowledge nature, or is it
those-
something different?
Those worms are actually a spellcraft.
Ooh, I have 15 to that. But that's a 3 on the die, so somebody else might get higher, because that is only
It's
an
a
18.
25.
Nice.
Alright, I believe a 25 is sufficient to identify these 3 worms as hive-brain symbiotes. These red maggots constantly writhe and distend, snapping their small pair of pinchers. A combination of a hell wasp and worm, a hive-brain symbiote grants an echo of a hive mind when attached to any intelligent creature. When placed on the back of the host's neck as a standard action, the hive-brain symbiote attaches painlessly to your brainstem and immediately boosts your mental faculties. While having a hive-brain symbiote attached, as an immediate action, a host can re-roll a concentration check or any intelligence-based check. The host must take the second roll, even if it's worse. An attached hive-brain symbiote continues to function for a number of hours equal to the host's intelligence modifier, minimum 1 hour, before falling off and dying. The symbiote dies immediately if removed before this time elapses.
So what is the downside to the Futurama brain slug?
Honestly, not bad for the casters.
It's icky.
It's just pretty gross. Yeah.
I'm probably gonna need like all of these worms.
Yeah, because I feel like you have a lower
It's
concentration
down.
thing than I do,
Gross.
right? What's your plus?
I imagine I have no combat casting or anything. My concentration check is 14. Yeah, because I think it's based off of our caster level.
Oh, mine is also 14, so they're equal. Yeah, because I was going to say I don't have
I
combat
mean,
casting.
the fact that there's no drawbacks.
I still think your spells are better suited for it than mine are.
And it lasts hours per int modifier,
Yeah.
so Brix has got that in spades.
Yeah. So 5 hours, a worm. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunately I'm at a 20. That's not enough. That'll just bring me up to the 21.
Yeah.
I know. I still need. I'm no enhancement bonus there. All natural, baby, not juicing. But yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we're terrible mid-level characters
wow.
without everybody having a belt and a headband at this point.
Right, well,
Yeah, I think the only person that is Alwyn who was able to come in later with the gold for it. Does anybody else have either like what is Kira's
Kira's
belt?
got a
Is
con
it
belt.
yeah.
Okay.
And a strength ion stone, I think.
Or a belt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because Brix doesn't have a vast intelligence headband. Yeah.
I have a -2 intelligence score, so I'm happy to.
Are you sure you don't want a worm for -2 hours?
So, sure.
It's still minimum 1 hour.
Too dumb.
Yeah, what happens? Does it just die automatically if you put it on somebody with a negative
No, it's
intelligence?
minimum 1 hour. It can still suck a little bit of your brain juice out. Powerlessly. Or painlessly.
Kind of cool. It reminds me of like the necrographs, only it's temporary instead of permanent.
Ooh, I gotta look.
Yeah.
Before I attach it to my rattly neck at one point.
Shall we go and...
Like the Gookoob does not look as much as I was hoping it would look like a. Yeah, I was hoping like a.
Yeah, that's just like a tech box with a
Hellbound
mullet.
Heart style like puzzle box thing, just made out of like goo.
I was imagining it much worse.
And
Yeah. It looks like a soundboard.
yeah, that's fair.
I told you, it's a GameCube. with
Yeah,
a
it has like
sign.
a Cyrax hair.
And then it's got...
Yeah, I was
dreadlocks.
thinking like sea urchin.
See, I can make video game references that I played when I was 12. Shall we head back upstairs?
Yes, we need to get that other nanite cocoon, and then I think it seems like we have to find a fourth one. We must have to explore those last couple labs.
Did you say there were notes in the demon room that we didn't take?
You took them, but we never really paused for them.
Okay. Yeah, that's like bedtime stuff. That's bedtime reading for the
Yeah.
party.
Unless, can we leaf through them real quick and see if there's one that says, I left my 4 nanite cluster.
Just a nanite cluster wrapped in notepaper.
I'm definitely not on a different map moving you all into the right place so I don't have to deal with it. I'm definitely not
Interesting.
doing
Yeah.
Okay, it's weird that you would say that. But, okay. Asher reloaded that one round that he used. I'm to be really pedantic about it.
Alright,
I'm still upset that I rolled exactly 1 point more than the health I needed to heal.
so you go up 125 feet of stairs, and then you keep going up 5 floors beyond that. So, a lot of freaking stairs until you eventually emerge in Furcus Shoud's bedroom.
Okay, we're gonna grab that cocoon.
Alright, that's just a matter of basically going down flight of stairs and then going down 2
And
flights.
Zed wasn't waiting for us in the room, like sitting seductively on the bed or anything.
He wasn't. He appears to be missing just now. You do have to head down 2 more flights of stairs, so you're really not skipping leg day. And then you head in the stairwell that leads down from the 4th floor to the 3rd floor, and there is your cocoon. And that's where I put
Kira,
it.
do you want to snatch this cocoon?
Yeah. Can I hit it? No, that's not a good idea.
Maybe just lovingly.
If you're ready to catch it, I can scoot it off the wall and then you can catch it. Since it explicitly deals no damage.
Catch.
Pating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that works. You got this down.
Unfortunately, the Nana cocoon does not accept ICMP requests, so it will not be moving anywhere with your ping.
No.
It's true.
0 trust, Jeff.
It's just practicing good network security.
I find it hard to believe that.
Yes, I
you
will
would just like
download
this.
Boundside Buddy.
That's good network
You tell me I
security.
need to roll diplomacy on the cocoon. Trust
The
me.
sheer number of times they've DDoSed themselves.
My Mac does need
So
cleaning.
distributed.
Every computer in there has LimeWire.
I get
Such
that one.
denial.
I can download more RAM?
I keep getting these pop-ups that say I have a virus, but when I click on them, I just get more pop-ups.
This is such a great deal. If I just help this prince out, I'll get 5 times my money
How could
back.
that go wrong? Or us going into another lab go wrong?
Let's find out. And star wipe to the next floor.
Star wipe all the way up to the 6th floor. So, all of you are now mechanically fatigued, I think.
We gotta roll for that.
Yeah.
Well, you just did so much running, you know?
No, we're climbing these stairs leisurely.
Alright, you
I
gotta
see.
go down and to the right.
What
to
is
see yourselves?
that?
Well, as you come into this floor, you find a large open space, the full diameter of the tower, and in the southern portion of the room, it opens into the room above. The air in here is stifling hot due to the operation of 3 massive forges that burn and vent into a cluster of exposed pipes running through the center of the tower. A tangle of conduits from the southeast cuts through the room to join this cluster, forming a wall of pipes and thick wires. Working constantly in this room
No.
are these 3 strange humanoid beings. Let me get a real description of them.
Look at that 6-pack. Those are a bunch of magic mics right there.
These are squat, brass-skinned, dwarf-like humanoids, but their heads and shoulders blaze with a mane of fire, and heat literally ripples off of their bodies. They are, of course, shirtless because one must be when one has fire hair and is jacked. There are also working in this room 3 of your dear friends, the riot suppressor robots, which we all know and love riot suppressor robots. I'm just putting a couple colors, on things just in case we need them. Now, as you come in, the riot suppressor robots do notice you immediately, and they move towards you threateningly, as if to suppress your riot. So it's probably time to roll for initiative. Alright. What did Alwyn get for initiative?
Alwyn got a 10 on the die for a 16.
Alright. How about Asher?
Asher gets a slightly slower 16 with an 11 on the die.
And how about Kira?
Also an 11 on the die for a 17.
Let's just show off he move. And Brixby.
12 on the die for a dirty Twanzini.
Alright. Definitely not slowly rolling initiatives right here for 1,000 beings. So why would I do that?
It's because you roll initiative for them while they're on the GM layer. And the players can't see it, but as soon as you move them to the real layer...
Monsters.
I know. There's too much to keep track of here.
That's your choice, man.
That's true. I could just delete some of these people.
If you want.
Why does that one have to be the one going first?
Everything's got to have its own initiative mod. Everything's got to be busy.
Hey, real quick, can you swap the initiatives of blue and red riot suppressor robot?
Why would you
swap
want
them.
the one near us to go first?
Because the other one's standing perfectly for me to get 2 people in a hole.
Well, now that I know that...
Yeah, we don't know the ripped little men are not our friends.
Well, speaking of the ripped little man number 1, who is the orange fella down at the bottom there, he's just going to hold his action at the beginning of initiative. But Riot Robot, the blue one, is going to rush forward and say, "Engage the intruders!" And it's going to rush forward, and since Alwyn is right in the front, because that always makes sense, Alwyn is about to get...
I mean, technically I'm in the back. They're just attacking us from the side.
That's true. Well, Alwyn's going to get the Wrath of the Warhammer. That is a 35 to hit.
Yes, that does in fact hit.
That is 14 non-lethal damage. Oh, and 2 non-lethal electric damage. That'll bring Brixby up.
Alright, I would love to roll a knowledge on these little swole men.
That would be Knowledge Planes.
Righty. Strong knowledge for me, that's okay. It's a 17 for a 28. All 20s like it.
You are looking at Azers. Azers are a proud and hard-working ancestry from the Plane of Fire, who toil in their bronze and brass fortresses, always ready for their long, simmering war against the Ifrit. Azers live in a society where every member knows his place. Born into a particular duty, usually the trade of his father or mother, an Azer continues his task his entire life. The caste system further keeps Azer society in line. Nobles, ruling without question, wear decorated brass kilts as their symbol of caste, while merchants and business proprietors wear stout bronze. Copper kilts designate the working class, made up of servants, artisans, and laborers. Let's see, the total was 28. You get so many questions. You get 3 questions on Azers.
Okay, so as you all maybe remember from last week in our plotting chat, I still have elemental speech, but it is a personal target only. And I'm terrible at doing anything besides bluffing. So part of me wants to figure out what their alignment is, but that's also something Asher can determine as a free action or a standard action. Standard?
It's also...
Sorry.
I can only determine if they're evil.
Yeah. I guess I was trying to
Yeah, he
figure
just
out if
says
they
detect evil, not detect alignment.
Yeah, it's
were...
a
Yeah,
move.
no, I should... yeah, that's still useful to you. Okay, so I would love to know what their base alignment is with one of those questions.
Base alignment, they are a lawful neutral people.
Okay. Anything anyone else want to know?
Maybe defenses in case we do have to fight him.
Yeah, special defenses.
Special defenses of the Azer, they are immune to fire. They have a modicum of spell resistance.
Brixby is going to hold the last... Yeah, he's going to hold the last question until, like, maybe we need it, or maybe we don't. And he is going to 5-foot step into Pierre's square, so he doesn't have to cast defensively. And because this is his 2nd level Void Elemental spell, he's going to pull out some iron filings and crush them in his hand and then eat them, I guess. And gain the ability to speak that one. Not Terran. What's the one?
Ignin is what you're looking at.
Ignin. Yeah. I was ignorant of Ignin. So, yeah, he's gonna, they're gonna glow kind of red before he's like, hot, puts them in his mouth, and then his mouth sounds like a cool campfire. And while he can't actually mechanically roll a check, he's going to say, "Peace, friends, we're here in peace," in Ignin.
And one of them, well, I guess it won't respond till its turn. Let's not break turn order for these things.
And that's my turn-a-roo.
All right, Kira.
Let's see. You said the riot guys have moved forward in an aggressive manner. They haven't actually attacked yet, correct?
One of the riot suppressors hit Alwyn with a
Oh,
hammer.
great. That's right. I forgot about that. Okay, then Kira, will take a 5-foot step forward into Brixby's previous square. Go for a full attack on, let's start with blue. Oh no, that's a 4 on the die. For a, not raging yet, so that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 will not do
Yep.
it.
Right?
Also, what are you swinging right now?
Chainsaw,
Chainsaw?
yeah. That's a 3, so that's not going to do it. And I'm not raging yet, so I'm going to use the last chunk of my turn to rage. And that will be my end of turn.
Alright, they're basically laughing at you.
That's annoying, but fair.
Well. Alright, Alwyn is up.
Okay, Alwyn is going to attempt to use a spell he tried to use on one of these before, but Kira killed it before it could succumb to it, even though it got it. Let me just see what the cast defensive thing for it is. It is DC 17, so I beat this on a 6 on the die, so I get my cast defensively. And the red robot has to make me I believe it is a will. Yes, a will save.
Impossible. Get it?
Yeah, weird.
16 on the will save?
That is a fail. So he looks at the red robot and he says, "That other robot hurt me. Please hurt it back." And he casts Murderous Command. So on the red robot's turn, it has to attack its nearest ally.
Wow. That's very mean.
Do that to robots.
Alright. And, Asher.
Asher heard Brixby speak in a language that Asher doesn't understand, and Are we... Well, seems like we're at least fighting the robots. And Asher will lament his location and lack of visibility. If he were to move to the northwest with this stairwell situation, would he be able to shoot blue still?
Yeah, he could go up on those stairs.
Okay. Then, well, I mean, sure, he could go up, but he's just looking at a 5-foot step.
Yeah, he can do a 5-foot step, but blue, that's in melee with blue, so it can swank.
That's fine. Prepare to swank, because in his left hand, his revolver is full of mundane rounds, but canonically his other revolver is full of adamantine, and he is going to rapid shot, full attack, deadly aim, 3 adamantine rounds at blue, double D, double die.
Alright, that is a 36 to swamp.
No, I took super mobility, and because I moved, yeah, of course it hits, dude.
That is 15 non-lethal bonk damage and 3 non-lethal electric damage.
Okay, weirdly the electric doesn't look like it did anything, but you said it was 15 non-lethal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's a lot of non-lethal.
You got swamped.
It's true. Just notating 15 I know, and I'll have to remember next time that it's National League. And then, yeah, let's fill it with bullets. We are looking at numbers that have a value, and those values are equal to mathematical things of the nature that they are. And that is... I mean, nothing's below a 20 against touch on all 3.
You're pretty safe.
Cool. So that's going to be 3d8 plus 18. It is adamantine. I do have clustered shots. So that is only 30 total with the 3 bullets.
Well, it's not too bad.
Soften them up for red to kill him.
And that'll take us to Yellow, the Yellow Azer, who will say that in Ignan, of course, to Brixby, that they're going to make us kill you. Please, just if you can stop them, we'll slow play it. And he's gonna just slowly walk 20 feet around the far side of the room towards you. Now red is going to full attack blue. That's fun. Yes. Non-lethally, of course. Our constructs.
Can you attack a robot non-lethally? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean he can hit it, but it's not gonna do anything.
Oh, are they just immune to non-lethal? Do they have the ability to attack lethally? Because the spell itself says you try to kill your nearest ally.
Oh, I think they can do it with a -4. So
let me read the actual murderous command. You give the target a mental urge to kill its nearest ally, which it obeys to the best of its ability.
It doesn't say... Yeah, not subject to non-lethal damage. So, he's going to attack it with a -4, full attack. 28 on the first one is a hit. First time a riot suppressor robot has ever done lethal damage. And just barely gets through the hardness. And it's going to do it again. That's a miss, and it's going to use its integrated stun gun. And that is a hit.
Oh, that's electric damage, isn't it?
That's non-lethal damage.
Oh.
I'll put that good point on the non-lethal electric damage, which becomes lethal from that one hit and is multiplied by 1.5. So it did a little bit of damage to its buddy, and then it's back to being able to, understand.
Yeah, that's only a one-turn thing.
Yeah. And now, Purple Azer is gonna sort of start making its way over, and oh no, it's stuck behind the robot. It can't possibly get around this forge to get you. Whatever shall it do?
Too bad.
Now green is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet and shoot at Kira with its integrated stun gun. That is a 26 versus touch.
That'll do it. Blur.
I'm looking for my Dehundo 45. That is gonna be a solid 1 non-lethal damage.
Oof. 1.
Now, Orange is gonna take a 5-foot step forward, and it's gonna very apologetically swing a warhammer at Kira. That is a 6 to hit.
6?
Yeah, 6 total.
Oh gosh, no.
Alright, well, Blue, the riot suppressor, is rather upset right now. It just got bonked. It just got shot. It's gonna go full attack on... It's gonna go for Asher, because Asher was doing that shooting.
Nice.
I think that seems
Yeah.
fair. It's gonna suppress your riot with a 28.
That I feel suppressed.
Are you impressed by how suppressed you are?
Nope.
That is 14 non-lethal plus 2 non-lethal electric.
Okay, again, the electric seems ineffective, but the non-lethal otherwise hurts.
Another 28 on the second attack. That is 12 more non-lethal. No. 11 more non-lethal and 3 more electric. Non-lethal.
Okay, ow.
And then integrated stun gun. 21 versus touch.
Yep.
1 non-lethal. And finally, I am finished with monsters. It is Brixby's turn 7 hours later.
So Brixby, first in Taldane, says, "Don't fight fire dwarves." That's one word. And then in Ignan says, "We kill robots." And then is... Oh, man. I have an excellent spell for this situation here.
Just whatever your highest level spell is. If you just drop a fireball like right here, you could get all 3 robots, 2 Azers, and Kira.
They're probably immune to fire. To be fair.
Yeah, we rolled that they're immune to fire, so you could actually drop one where it would hit him and the robots and it wouldn't hurt him.
I forgot about that when I was giving you bad
Kira's,
advice.
Kira's fine. Go for it.
I just don't want to hit any of our... honestly, if I was going to use anything, it was going to be a lightning bolt. But purple joined the...
Yeah, I was
line.
also thinking that, but purple's in the way, yeah.
So, I think that Brixby is going to... Ooh.
If you dropped a fireball on top of the furnace, could you hit 2 of them and him and not hit Kira?
I'm afraid that the Azers won't interpret that as like a non-combat action. They might not know that even though I said what I said, that like we're not trying
Yeah.
to hurt them, maybe they'd get it. But like it'd be kind of a risk. Plus, like, you know, there's plenty of other people here that are better at doing damage than Brixby in robot fights.
I would say, if it factors in, not Asher because he fell unconscious.
Okay, so that to me, then, are you not stable though?
Stable, just more non-lethal than his current hit points.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So Brixby is going to pull out the tainted space trucks from his back. Full round action and 5-foot step towards Asher.
Oh. Okay.
And then that is Brixby's turn.
That will bring Kira up.
Here is Asher. He's not 10 feet away.
Yeah,
That's
sure is.
fine. I'm just going to go back and attack Blue again. That's my raging now, so hopefully that helps. Full attack. Here we go. I'm done with these dice now. 11 on the die was 18. 9, right? Great.
That'll hit.
Six, 12, 15, it's 20, 35 points of chainsaw damage at the blue. Then I would like to go for the cleave. It's still pretty new, so I can't remember if I can do that. Single attack.
You said 35
Okay.
points of damage?
Would like to make an additional attack against which one is next to blue? And
Red?
Red.
Yeah, I think you just have to 5-foot step up to complete
got it.
that cleave.
that can do. Yeah, so 5-foot step up. That is going to be not great. 27.
That'll hit.
And then for damage. Hang on, wait for it. That is 12 plus 8 again. 12, 32. Is that right? Wait a second. Do I get the full done? Leave.
Yeah, it should be a second full
That's amazing.
bab, so it should be your...
Yeah. Yeah.
Solid
Good
one.
feat.
So that's, what did I just say? 30, 32, 22, 32. 32 at.
Alright. Doesn't seem to all go through on either of them, but it's still a good chunk of damage. Blue is looking
Okay.
really bad.
Then do I just finish the attack? How does that work?
I don't think you can because cleave is its own standard
okay.
action. It's
Yeah, so
basically
you can't do a full attack with it, I don't
Works.
think.
That's I'm cool.
right.
Then that's my turn.
alright. That'll bring up Alwyn.
Okay, Alwyn is going to... Really useful here.
Channel? Like heal?
I don't want to try to... If I roll, I'm gonna get hit hard. I was gonna back up into the space behind me to heal them.
You could take
Well, I guess you
5
you're
foot-
right. I could.
Well, you could also go to the
Yeah.
northwest. Onto the stairs.
Isn't there a pillar or something right here? I didn't think that was
It's
something I
kind of
could
the
move
stair
over.
railing. You can still sort of 5-foot step the diagonal around it.
But is he? Can he still hit me there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the spot I was gonna go to got occupied. He'll 5 foot back this way and just cast on them under the robots. What I was gonna do. Guess he'll just acid splash one of the. He'll acid splash Blue. That is. Mine's underneath. That's a 9. Range touch is. That is a 15 against touch AC.
That hits.
Okay, that is 2 points of acid damage, which probably does not go through its DR.
Seems to be blocked by the hardness.
Yeah, or hardness, I mean, not DR. That's his turn.
Alright, Asher, you've been swamped unconscious.
Yep. So he's unconscious. End of turn.
Alright, Yellow is gonna continue slowly walking towards everybody, really taking its time. Red is gonna take a 5 foot step to the south to commence bashing Kira. That is a 26 on the first one. 97 on the blur. 12 non-lethal and 4 electric non-lethal. 17 on the second attack. That might not do it.
Does not do it. I'm reaching. Yeah, no.
And the integrated stun gun is a 15 versus touch.
That's different than what you just did, right? Because okay, then yes.
Yeah. That's 75 on the blur and 4 non-lethal. And I think purple is gonna keep clogging up the lane here. Just sort of making things difficult for everyone. So green can't really find a spot. It's just gonna sneak up and fire a integrated stun gun at Kira through cover. And it's gonna miss, thanks to the cover. And orange doesn't want to get in the flank here, because that would give the robots an advantage. So orange is going to take a 5 foot step back and just sort of meekly gesture at Alwyn. That is a 7 to hit.
That is a miss.
Alright, blue, having absolutely destroyed dear Asher, takes a 5 foot step down and gets the flank on Kira. 28 on the first one. That is a 95 on the conceal. For a nice 11 non-lethal and 6 electric. Also non-lethal. Nat 20 on the second one.
Good.
Nat 20 on the confirm.
Also pretty good.
21 on the concealment.
That's not good. Is it good? Oh, it is good.
So-
That's good. It's 20.
9 non-lethal electric. And then this is going to require some math. 8, 9, 11 plus 27, 38 non-lethal damage.
Total? Or including the 9?
Plus the 9 electric non-lethal.
38.
Is Kira still conscious?
Okay.
If you've taken more non-lethal than your total current HP, that makes you unconscious, like Asher.
Oh, yeah.
Well, good news. Integrated stun gun attack.
Oh no.
15 versus touch.
Yep, that'll do it.
And 96 on the blur.
Okay.
How about a nice 3 non-lethal damage?
Ooh, we are hanging on by a fraction of an inch. Wait, hang on. Let me actually do that math. Okay, I have 2 non-lethal hit points left.
Wow. Well, with Asher unconscious, Kira sitting at 2 HP effectively, and the party in a position to start taking their turns on these riot suppressor robots, I think it's time to go to bed.
Don't forget taking
Night,
drugs.
Sam.
Getting trapped.
Oh, the evil.
No,
space
you're not
drugs.
taking drugs. You're giving somebody else drugs.
Good night, drugs.
Sam.
Good night, drugs. Good night, unconscious Asher.
Against the machine. Against the machine.
Hot Against the Machine is property of Network Against the Machine LLC, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are property of Paizo Publishing. See their website for more details. Theme Against the Machine was written and performed by our own Zach. See the show notes for additional music and sound licensing. If you enjoyed the show, we encourage you to leave us a review.
Hi.